yani paka pokoriko, iko pale mkiwika Kenya ndo na feel love bado iko leo tunapiga show, yani paka pokoriko, iko pale mkiwika Kenya ndo na feel love bado iko asijidai upendo mine sambaza wote wapai wakaka zina wadada wanafurahi ngoma zangu zina wabamba zinavochuna kwa speech Achani wape burudani leo mina wapa burudani achani wape burudani leo mina wapa burudani achani wape burudani leo mina wapa burudani achani wape burudani Mapepo ya muziki yamevamia, cheza mosmos usijogomia, watoto wakali kina Carolina, Halima walipojiachia, leo tunapiga show, yani paka pokoriko, iko pale mkiwika Kenya ndo na feel love bado iko leo tunapiga show, yani paka pokoriko, iko pale mkiwika Kenya ndo na feel love bado iko asijidai upendo mine sambaza wote wapai wakaka zina wadada wanafurahi ngoma zangu zina wabamba zinavochuna kwa speech Achani wape burudani leo mina wapa burudani 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 leo mina wapa burudani negativity feel the vibe na ukatike ukiwa tungi juu ya mjani feel the vibe iachilie satuwe wote wala one heart let's get together and feel alright wala one heart let's get together and feel alright upendo mina sambaza wote wapai wakaka zina wadada wanafurahi ngoma zangu zina wabamba zinavochuna kwa speaker achani wape burudani leo mina wapa burudani 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 leo achani wape mina wapa burudani leo achani wape mina wapa burudani wangu wake toa Nairobi leo mpaka coast 00 wasupa wangu warembo Nairobi leo watoto wa Kiswati wote wapa burudani hasla wangu wote wamekubali leo wanataka burudani mina wapa burudani kutoka Kenya Uganda mpaka Bongo leo wanataka burudani mina wapa burudani What is Africa? African Zima.
Yes, and I don't know if I should give you the homework of you getting into your Google phone and just type the word burudani, what it means, because that basically means furaha, nothing but just happiness, right here on the Black Out Fire Radio Media for the 21st century. Karibuni sana and today's broadcast. I hope you are doing great. Kindly do remember to interact with us. We are on Facebook, on Twitter, and also on Instagram. Asanteni sana for being with us on today's broadcast. It is 27 minutes past 12 p.m. right here in the 254, it being the 8th of February, the year 2022, and I hope that you are doing great. And this month is driving you amazing as you hoped it to be. Nonetheless, we are getting straight to the matters of the day, and I believe we are a little bit late. Men, getting matatu sometimes it can be hectic. Sometimes you can be on the stage, on the bus station, waiting for the matatu to come, and you won't see even any. But nonetheless, I'm grateful to be here and also grateful to be okay and healthy. Kate, kindly do put Kate into prayers. prayers because she isn't feeling okay. But I wish her quick recovery and hope that she'll be back soon. She's not feeling okay. But nonetheless, moving on to the matters of the day, kindly do remember to interact with us, as I said. And in case you have not joined us officially, do that by logging onto our website, www.blackoutfinector.com. And once you log onto the website, feel free to create your own profile. We also have amazing products over there. We have in terms of cups, we have in terms of hoodies, so many things that you'd love to check on, and even t-shirts. Kindly do go into the website, and in case maybe you want to purchase any your size, give it an order and it will be delivered, I bet, at your doorstep. Nonetheless, karibuni sana. My name is Joby. In case you're joining us for the first time, I am feeling so energetic today, and it being on a Tuesday, my Tuesday are always very calm, but today I just woke up with another, on top of the world type of, energy. I just feel so energetic, and there's these three words that I've been telling myself lately, and they just, they say the more you normalize some things, the more, the things you give your energy to is what you receive, right? So lately I've been telling myself, and I do believe that was on Friday. On Friday I did also get to give that particular quote. Nowadays when I wake up, the first thing I always tell myself is, I am enough, I have enough, and I do enough, and that is period. Because I think most of the times the world always wants us to it wants to make us feel, or even our people, the people who we care about, the people we love, they tend to make us feel like we're not doing enough. It's like we're not enough. It's like we need to be a little bit way extra, to fit in a certain situation. But for me, nowadays I wake up because I realized there's so much, distraction on my side, especially with everything that I've been learning. Sometimes you find yourself you're lonely. Sometimes you find yourself with the crowd who are not talking things that are not making sense. They tend to get you upset very quickly. So I've been telling myself, Manze, I'm not going to be listening to negativities anymore. I'm not going to be like surrounding myself with negative people. You meet with someone, they're like, oh, you become too thick or you become too small. What is your issue? Just let me live my life in peace. But I do hope that you are vibrating higher, and you can repeat the same words unto yourself every day. That is Joby giving some motivational, quote, rather some motivational energy, for you to receive every morning when you wake up, or every time you feel like you're down. Just wake up, tell yourself, I am enough, I have enough, and I do enough. And that's it. For me, those three affirmations, they have been working super great for me. And I sense that I had reduced in a way. And since I ever started telling myself that, I can see, like, because I have to accept that I am enough, no matter how petite or how small I am body wise. I have to accept the body that I have, how healthy I am right now, to achieve the type of body that I want. That is what I know, and that is the one of the laws of manifestation. You must agree, rather appreciate what you have first, for you to attract more of what you really need. But asante sana, I can see you are joining. Kindly do say hi as you listen onto today's broadcast. And today I have some very serious matters to discuss about, and this is regarding, especially on our trip to Tanzania. Being honest, this was the best trip for me, the best I've ever had. Considering not only that did we go out of the country for the first time, and we, not only that, we learned a lot that we have not even learned in our own country. I don't know how many of you know, or maybe in terms of General Mosquito, you're saying hello there, hello auntie, you too, hope you're doing great, General Mosquito. And I'm just asking, I don't know how many of you know, in every country, let's say even maybe in US or maybe wherever you are streaming with us from, I don't know if you know, if you were to if you want to open a certain business, or maybe you want to own property, let's say an estate, you want to build up or come up with an estate. I don't know how many of you have done the research, or you're supposed to follow the right procedures, and these are the law procedures for you to have order to own a certain property in the country. When we were in Tanzania, of which we couldn't film this particular, session at that day, we did learn that if you want to own a property, you need to go follow the right procedures, and these are the laws of the government. You need to go to this particular office. They'll show you the direction, and even give you, I was really shocked that they even give you samples on where you can even invest your business. But this brought me a lot of questions actually today when I woke up, because I was asking myself, every time whenever I wake up and I'm trying to do research on something, I always reconnect with everything we speak about. So, and also trying to relate with how we've seen our country, or rather our continent, operating. For so long, I've always been asking myself, how is it that Mzungu, can come into Africa and own or rather acquire property very easily, without struggles? I was asking, is it because of the money? I mean, yes, we have corruption, we have bribe every day in, day out. But again, there is more unto this. Yes, yesterday, remember, and Keith made it clear that, in Africa, we can't require back our own, like, there is the bridge which was discussing yesterday in on the Tujadili 254 show. There is the bridge between the poor and the rich, and this bridge has been created by the puppets. And of course, most of the properties in Africa, they are owned by these particular puppets. So I was asking, other I've questioned myself, why is it that Mzungu, most of them, they have lands over here in Africa, they have properties, they have businesses, but you ask yourself, how is it that, do they really follow the right procedures to get this? And even our own people, even the foreigners alone, even our own country, because that is one of the questions that I did get to ask when I was in Tanzania. Even if I were a Tanzanian person or a Kenyan person, if I come to this particular country, maybe say I want to open up a restaurant, do I need to follow up the same procedures? And I was told yes. So it gave me the answer of why we've seen so many buildings being demolished. Or here today, the government has woken up, it has gone to demolish some houses somewhere. Some people are being displaced right now, and this is because most of us do not follow the right procedures. Instead, we are quick in giving bribes, because the system we are living in is full of corruption. It has also taught us corruption in such a way, we know, if I want something in an easy way, I must give money, which is super crazy. But those are one of the things that we'll be discussing about, and more of the issues that are happening across the African continent. So I'm gonna go back into some music, then when I come back, I'll be discussing more of this. This is by the one and only Parody, and this is one of the jams that did get to hit last year, and it is just a party nation type of song. You got to enjoy anytime you watch children, relax with your friends. So enjoy this particular one.
Parody, video on boy. Yo, jump forward, my friend. Take a day on the beat. Leo niko out, nimekuja kutesa. Kesho siko job, nikulala kwa popo. Umekaleta drinks, tunakunywa kumaliza. Usione hivi, tumekuja na pesa. Lewa, lewa. Waitress, I'm a pepper tipping. Is it me or my drink is speaking? Sipping, I'm sipping. Ay, Honolulu. Bene, pombe msiweke mchele. Leo meza takama nitembe. Donilewe mpaka nibebwe. Leo niko out, nimekuja kutesa. Kesho siko top, nikulala kwa popo. Umekaleta drinks, tunakunywa kumaliza. Usione hivi, tumekuja na pesa. Nakataska amakane pewa tu kusilambelambe wapitisi kupandekane nango whisky hanjam mingi minataka tu niteke toto na msupa tulewe hadi kesho shots kamino bodi bodo
Hey, this song so jamming. If you're not feeling this vibe, I don't know what you're feeling or which type of music you listen to, but that is by the one and only Parody and the Major playing right here on the Black on Fire Radio, media for the 21st century. I can see Sister Michelle in the building. Good morning, sister. Hope you're doing great. Karibu sana on today's broadcast. And Joram Mosquito is saying, Adobe, stop enjoying yourself like that. Man, I must. I must. I just said that I have 3 affirmations that are making me feel so energetic. And I think you should normalize this. When you wake up, or every time you go to sleep, or every time you feel like you have some negativity disturbing you, just wake up, tell yourself, I am enough, I have enough, and I do enough. And that's period. Those 3 affirmations lately, they have kept me going and going, and they just they make me feel so energetic even every time I feel like maybe I'm not doing the best of myself. And that is what I can say. And Jura Mosquito used to say, saying hi to Sister Michelle. Hope she is doing great. Asanteni sana for being with me on today's broadcast. And the Kenyan music is just jamming. I don't know if you guys can feel the same, but Kenyan music is just jamming. And I remember of the brother yesterday when he was singing on the Express show. That guy really has talent. I just love the way he was pouring his heart into singing. He was like singing with his whole heart, like despite even the instrument and everything, like he really is talented. I think I mastered even one of his songs, which I'm going to check out and play after maybe 1 or 2 3 things that we get to discuss. But before that, I have a quote of the day just to keep you going. And this is just to remind yourself you don't need to keep on repeating some things that you've been doing maybe last year or maybe some time back. You need to like let go of the old and, you know, influence new energy in you. That is what we're talking about when you speak of energy. Just let go of the old traits and invite something new, or rather a new formula in yourself, rather in your life. If you are not drinking water every day, ensure that you're drinking at least, even if it's 1 bottle of water. Nowadays, I'm also trying to encourage myself as much as I can in drinking water. I think there's a time when we were in Tanzania with kids who were competing how many bottles of water we can drink a day, and it kept us very very hydrated in a very nice way. Our skins were sweating, we could see all the toxicity coming out, and it was just so amazing. Then considering the environment was super hot, like the skin was getting whatever it was really lacking. That is what I can say. But the quote of the day today says just a simple one. It says, "Dear me, don't fall back into your old patterns just because they're familiar. Dear you, do not fall back into your old patterns just because they are familiar. And I don't know what you are normalizing, or rather what you've normalized, and you feel like it's toxic. But if you feel like it has been weighing you down, it's time to drop it. Drop it and move on to something different and something new. Let go of the toxic energy and allow the beautiful energy that you deserve to flow in you. That is what I can say. But with that, I hope that it will keep you going throughout this particular day. Once again, I want to appreciate you for being with us on to today's broadcast. And I want to get just straight to the matters of the day. There's a time back, a certain story that did get to pop out, and I didn't get the chance to report or rather speak about it. There was this young kid, I think it was a 12-year-old boy. A 12-year-old boy was flogged by the teacher just because of consuming, when we speak of, because of consuming chapatis. Now, and this reminds me of just last week we were speaking about, like, I was to share certain video, which I hope I'll share before the end of the broadcast. I wanted to see what really led to, what led to like African starving right now, because Africa, we are blessed with so much. We have food. I remember the brother even yesterday speaking of how like the African image has been destroyed in such a way. Even people make films and funny clips of children suffering with hunger, people who do not even cannot afford food. I really wanted to do other search on a documentary which would explain to us further, how did Africans get to this particular point where we do not even have food, leave alone even the resources. We know the resources when we speak of gold, copper, silver, and that is why the Mzungu is here, because of all the richness. But when we speak of food, it has reached to a point where most of our African continents, we are depending on the donations and all this. Like, how did we end up here? Because with this particular matter, a teacher to flog a kid even where he ends up in the hospitalized just because of eating chapatis, which is super crazy. I don't know if you guys can remember, but I did get to show an image of what chapatis look like, because there's a time I did get to discuss on it was trending in Uganda, because it was now one of the cheapest street foods that people can have. But let me just share an image of what I'm talking about. But my main point is the the colonies have really led Africa into such a point where if you see food, it's like a god, it's like a goddess. So if you see food, or if you see someone trying to eat, satisfy themselves, you're trying to stop them, rather call them, there's a certain name. People, let me just, in Swahili we call them fisi, mafisi. A fisi is someone who is like, how do I say it? How do I say it? I don't want to say hyena, because fisi in English is an hyena, and you know how an hyena loves to eat. Like, it's just passes with anything. If it sees anyone who's not there, it just passes with anything. I don't know how to simplify the whole thing, but the African has been led to poverty, and in such a way, we lack food. And for those who have not been seeing some particular, because chapatis are most a bit in my time, me growing up, I remember chapati was very prioritized. If you saw chapati, or if your home could afford cooking chapati, that was like, it's like a golden home. It is a golden home. That is what I can really say, because this was something, or rather some type of food, which is seen only on Christmas seasons, or maybe on holiday season, or maybe when someone comes, visit you. So the African mentality has been, you know it has been messed up, and you beat a kid because of food, for them to be hospitalized. And right now, because of that particular issue, the Kenyan minister has warned teachers against beating students, because that was really terrible, very terrible. Let me just share an image of the chapati, what it looks like. I did get to share some time back, but let me just share with you, family, to see what I'm really talking about. Let me just a minute. Let me just a minute. Let me share this. Kindly do let me know if you can see my screen. These are brown ones. These are white ones. They're in different types. Do let me know if you can see my screen. Yes, there they are. Those are the chapatis. Now you imagine, they're just simple things to prepare, yes, but they are very, like, as I said, we growing up in an African home, or even here in Kenya, if your home could afford cooking chapati, this is like a golden home. So one of the teachers here, that was some last week type of story, which one of the teachers flogged a certain student. They ended up being hospitalized because of just eating, excess of what they're supposed to be taking during lunchtime. That is the school meal. And right now, because of that particular issue, the Kenyan minister has warned teachers over beating students. And they're saying that the Kenyan education minister has reminded people that corporal punishment remains banned in the country's school. This was banned, I remember, when I was still in high school. Actually, I remember it was passed when I was in high school, and still the teachers were doing it. As for us, we were lucky, because for us, we had the right. The school I studied, I did the school I went to on high school, I can say it was somewhat controlled by a certain Mzungu. So we were kind of favored, not when it comes to being punished. You can only do a punishment in terms of, like, maybe washing the classes, or maybe some other, minor duties, but not being flogged. Because if you are flogged, you had the right to report the teacher, and he or she could, be eliminated. Rather, they could be, chased away. You could be fired. That is the advantage that I grew up with. But in most of the schools, I've seen my friends complain, rather most of the people I've seen complaining how they were being beaten. If you fail exam, you're being beaten. How do you force some knowledge, and the knowledge you are forcing in us does not even include what we're supposed to be studying, not the African science, not the African history. You're feeding us religion, which is actually illegal, which I'm super surprised that so many people do not study. Actually, the person who invented the religion itself does not even allow their people to study it, yet it has been left in Africa. We have been, man, sometimes I tend to think of how, the lies. Yesterday, I remember I was rained on when I was going home, and then I arrived at my door, and I was opening the doors, like, man, the lies. I was like, who knows even this weather? Maybe the rain, because you've seen how the Mzungu has really messed up even with the African, the weather. Let me just say the weather in general, where they're even in control of the weather. I was just like, who knows? Even they are the ones maybe, in charge of all this. All the lies we've grown up with, all the lies, they're so sick. They are really sickening. And I can see Keith is saying that, yes, Joby, they have destroyed the mind of Africans totally, because I do not understand how we come from the richest, especially when it comes to food. We have everything, and we turn it out of just nowhere. Suddenly, we are now beggars. We have now to depend on donations, and in such a way now people are even fighting over food, and this is an adult fighting a kid because of food. How greedy is that? Like, we are being totally destroyed. And I was saying that is damn crazy, and they're saying, it is simple why it will be a golden home, Joby. It is simple why it will be a golden home. Chapati was one of the foods that was prioritized, right? I don't know up to date, but me growing up right now, I've seen chapati so many times. But I remember when I was young, and when I was in the remote areas, those are in my fifth, sixth year, that is at the time you could see chapati and some chicken. You're like, wow, this is heaven, this is heaven today, and you don't want to go anywhere. You won't even go to play with your friends, because at that particular day, it is a special day in your home, and they'll even come say hi to even help you to wash the dishes because you're cooking chapati. Man, the African, we have been led into a certain poverty where what we had, we no longer see it as ours. We see it as, as something else. It's like a treasure. When all this came from Africa, the only difference is that when they take it away from Africa and return it, by the time it's back, it's full of chemicals and full of so many things to kill us. And that is what I can say. Good morning, Keith.
Good morning, Joby. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How about you?
I'm good.
Welcome. Karibu sana.
Karibu sana.
So I'm just discussing of the matter of how Africans, like, when it comes to agriculture. And I remember when we were discussing about agriculture, how
Because
it is,
they
how
told
Africa,
them they told the African when he got there that their ways were backwards, Joby. Africans were geniuses. They knew how to work the land. There was no starvation in Africa because you got the best land. I've already showed you that. So they told the African that he was a dummy. I'm not saying they told the African children. Told you they got whenever everyone destroy people and take them over, you get the children. Because the parents don't. When you invade a place, parents know you're lying. So that's why all African kids, they've done it everywhere. Where the European is gone, he's got the children. Children were forced to go to their schools, learn their shit, learn that they were nothing, learn that their people were evil. He's done this all over the world, not just in Africa, in South America, America. This no good cracker's done it everywhere. He knows his work. So you get the children, you teach the children lies, that they come from nothing, that people were nothing, and say all their ways are backwards. The African farmer was a scientist. He knew how to cultivate the land. That's why Africa has the best land, because he did destroy the land. The European land, America and Europe, the land is destroyed, Joby. Africa knew how to farm without destroying the land with chemicals and all other kind of shit. And now since
I remember when I was young, because as I said, where I come from, I can say my grandpa has a very big acre of coffee, a very big acre of coffee.
Wow.
But I've never seen it being, I've never seen them doing any type of trading or other. I've never seen business how it was done, because I was young to understand that particular, object. But when it comes to the apple, I was speaking about who had oranges and a very big farm of oranges and mangoes and all that. When it came to them, leave alone the harvesting season, them planting, now they have to plant, like during the planting season, they used to use fertilizer, not the normal fertilizer, because there's the manure which comes from the cow, which I think is supposed to be used when it comes to agriculture. They were using fertilizers and seeds. So I was like, why do you have to use seeds which you bought while you have everything here? You just have to use the normal original seeds. Why do you have to go buy other?
Because that's what the Mzungu told them. The fertilizer he uses destroys the land. It destroys the land. You're supposed to use regular fertilizer from cows and things, not what the Mzungu did. The Mzungu told them, buy my products and use my shit, and it destroys the land. It depletes the soil. So you can you can look that up. Joby say does using chemicals deplete the soil. Say, does using chemical fertilizers deplete the soil? And the answer is yes. That's why they're still have to buy more farmland for them, so they can feed their people. They destroyed the land. The land in Europe wasn't good anyways. So the land in Europe is not even good land. It's full of sulfurs and toxics to begin with. And they made it even
Well,
worse.
I
People
mean,
try to say,
the people themselves.
that's what, huh?
Uh-huh. Go ahead.
I said,
No, go ahead.
that's why people try to say that's why they're psychopaths, because the land is so bad in Europe. Nah, they're not. They're psychopaths because they're psychopaths. Oh, it's the land in Europe that's so bad. From the food they eat makes them psychopaths. Nah. That's the excuse they use. Nah.
I'm saying the land itself cannot be good if the people themselves are not even good. It cannot be strong enough like the people themselves. I mean, they have the recessive genetics. What do you expect? Even the land itself must be recessive. It must have some genes that are not even. They can't be strong enough to hold the land.
But land is not good in Europe. It's very bad. It's very bad toxicity in land in Europe. People say it's because of the ice age years ago, like 25,000 years ago, got the land so bad. But you got the best land in Africa. Like I said, it's pretty hard to starve in Africa when you can throw down a seed and everything would grow. It's only now that the European has got control of agriculture in Africa, came in with his nutty practices, and taught the children that his practices were better when they were not. The African farmer was a scientist, Joby. So a lot of those traditions are lost because the kid they took the children and taught them lies. So those African traditions, that African science of working the land, has been lost. So they don't know how to farm. They don't know how to farm, but the white man's way, which destroys the land. That use those chemicals. You should have found it. That destroys the land.
I remember.
It destroys the nutrients. It destroys what you put in the ground. Your fruits and vegetables got full of this carcinogens that make you sick now because it's not natural. God showed you. They all showed you. And if these people give you your fake God and they show you everything they do is antithetical to nature. Everything they do is the opposite of nature. When the African was nature, did everything by nature, by what the all told them to do. Now you got the fake God doing everything fake, the fake white way, and everything is destruction. Everything is upside down now in Africa. You should never have nobody starving no fucking Africa. Starving Africa? That should be what? That's why you used to have Africans on TV with big bellies and flies around their face and starving. And everybody, I didn't know at that time that Africa had the best land. I said, damn, it just used to break my heart. I sent money to that shit when I was a teenager because I seen Africans on TV starving and hungry. Like, oh my God. So I didn't know that was white people when they giving black people the money. That was another scam they would do. They wasn't giving nobody black that money. They would bring white people and show some black kids suffering. Oh, look at these poor, dirty niggas. They're suffering and starving. Send us money, and we'll feed these no good bastards. We'll feed these niggas. Send us some money. And white people were keeping that money. They wasn't giving nobody black no money. These Mzungus are just rotten to the core. But, Africa's just so rich that, like the guy said, when you had Friday, it's been a fight for Africa. Stealing of African resources, because there's just so much in Africa. But it's not that much in any place they come and fight to steal it all. The African would have shared it, but no, people want to dominate and steal it. Put African people in poverty. That's what's happened. People came into the country, stole the resources, and they have control of it. So with Mali, Johnson kicking out all the white people and saying we're not gonna acknowledge none of these treaties from you white people. So everything in Mali goes back to us. Everything you say you own here, you no longer own it. We own it. That's what's got to happen. That's why they're scared. That's why they're talking about shout to Dr. Mummy's last video. That's right. That's why the Europeans scared as hell. Like, because it's not just when she understands French. She said France is a third world country. All of Europe is a third world country without Africa.
You know,
that's why they got money. Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead, Joe.
Which is what I wanted to talk about today, because I wanted to talk about how so many, like we've seen over yesterday, we were talking of you know, we have the puppet who is in control of the country, but we also have the common Mzungu, which are also so many in Africa, many African countries.
Mzungu is control of the country, not the puppet. The puppet.
Okay. Mzungu, I just call him the puppet. In a way, he's in the same category.
The black puppet, Kenyatta is not in control of Kenya. He's a puppet. Puppets are not in control of Africa. That's why states underdeveloped. They don't control no Africa. That's why you see every African put the big ugali and try to do mandates because the white man said, nigga, you start putting mandates. That's why you see it all over Africa. They don't control Africa. That's why you seen everybody do what the white man told them to do.
So we have them who is in charge of the, let's say, who is in control of telling the Uhuru and Raila or all the puppets what to do. And we also have the common Mzungu. Just let me finish. We have also the normal Mzungu. Now, when you come to Africa, we find that in different areas, even including the Indians, the Chinese, and so many people, you find that when you come to Africa, most of these people, they own, let's say, clubs, restaurants, big restaurants. They own some certain properties. But my question is, because I was saying that, you know, this trip we went to Tanzania really taught me a lot. And this includes when it comes to owning property. You remember there was a day we went to the, you know,
you went to the investment center.
Yeah, the investment center. And we asked a lot of questions and we were also taught a lot. And I did get to ask, one of the things I did get to ask, apart from a foreigner, maybe someone who is coming from another country, let's say if I were a Tanzanian and I want to start a business, do I also need to follow the same protocols? Do I need to follow the same
procedures? Of course you do, ma'am. Of course you do. But also, Joe, but you got to understand history. The people that own shit in Kenya owned it way before it became Kenya. Those Indians, even in Tanzania, the British brought them in. So that's why you got Indians all over Africa. The British brought them in as a buffer race to be between them and black. But because black people are supposed to be on the bottom. That's why the Indians have businesses in Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania. They were given businesses. Giving them, Joe.
Yeah, so I was like, if I were as, you know, just a normal Tanzanian, do I need to follow the same procedures? And I was told, yes, I need to do the same. And I asked, do we have the same in Kenya? Do you, like, you guys know if you have the same in Kenya? And she was like, it is in every country. There is a law agency, rather investment center that is in every country. I've never heard of anyone talking of, you know, investment center in Kenya. I've never even known we have any. I don't even know where it is if I were to go today and research on it, you know.
Yeah, that's one in Kenya, one in every country.
During that point is when I learned, when we see so many houses, rather so many buildings, so many, lands taken over, coming to being demolished, where people have to be scattered and being displaced, it's because most of these people, and this is because of what we are already used to, the system of giving bribe, you know, where we know. Yeah, we know, like, you know, the law works like this. I have to give just a small token amount of money. I'll get this piece of land however I want, and I can put a restaurant here. Who is going to come to question me? Then later on, the same government will come and demolish those houses, and you start saying, oh, they have done this. It's because you never followed the right procedures. Now come to the Mzungu. You know, leave alone now the African, the person who is in the country. Now let's go to the Mzungu and the Chinese. I ask myself, do they also follow the same? Because these people are so evil, and we've seen of how many lands and acres they own. Have they followed the same procedures, or are they given a free pass just because
they're given a free pass most of the time because they control the governments. So they'll come in the Chinese now from the European, because China's a fake state. It was created by the Europeans. I think China's now trying to break bad. The same people that run the world, Joe, created China. They created the country. They created the communist Chinese. They created that shit. I think China's now trying to break bad and become its own, break away from the Europeans that created it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're giving special treatment because remember, the African doesn't control his money supply, Joe, because that's how economics work.
Mm-hmm.
All the banks in Africa are owned by these same wicked ass people. Bank
Mm-hmm.
of Kenya, Bank of Nigeria, Bank of Ghana, Bank of South Africa, they own all the banks. And so you got to deal with their monetary system. So when Africa was supposed to get independence, you should never said, I'm going to join your monetary system. For what? But how benefit you? What they did was debase your currency. So now every European currency is worth more than yours, but all the minerals come out of Africa. So that wouldn't make any sense. So they use economic gains now to keep you on bottom. So now you're in debt. They put their puppets in who are completely immoral. That's why they're there. They give them a kickback, and so they give them a little kickback. So them and their family, them and their family are okay, and all other African people suffer because all the other shit's getting stolen out of Africa. Like I told you, the Congo is the richest place on the planet. I've always known that. How is it impoverished there? And everybody knows it. The Congo is the richest place on the planet, hands down, ain't even close. So how is it in poverty?
But I bet because I've seen when it comes also to some businesses, let's say those who even are owned by maybe Mzungu, it comes to a certain point, or let me speak of an example of this. A certain hotel which was closed last year, and I did also give a report on it. And this guy, because for you to own this business, if you follow the right procedures, bet, because I remember what we were told in Tanzania, if you need to start a business, this is how they give you a capital, if I'm not wrong. There's maybe a couple, if I'm not wrong, I don't know if I wish Nish was there, she could have given us the reason. But I remember you are given a capital, they give you a specific area where you can invest the business and all that, like they give you the right procedures to follow,
They
and
give
where you can,
procedures. They don't give you capital. They don't give you money.
they don't give money. I think I had money.
They don't give you capital. They don't give you capital. You got to bring your own capital. What they do is tell you, these are areas that we research. Depending on the business that you want to do, these are some of the best areas. Choice is still yours where you want to put your business. But these are the areas where we think that will work best for the type of business that you're trying to start. Mm-hmm. So they give you, since they are the investments, so they've studied the areas where certain businesses do the best. That's why you go there to get information. And you get there to make sure you're legal. Your business is legal. You're paying taxes to them. Go ahead.
Okay, so you mean to say, this brings up also a lot of unconnected dots. I think we also have a broker. Let's say for me personally, or that we've had the same experience. I remember there's a time my dad went to buy a land somewhere. Then later on, it was reclaimed by the government. It was
because the guy he bought it from didn't own it. You got a lot of land hustling swindlers in Africa. Everybody's trying to cheat each other because of the poverty.
Once you've given this money and you have the title deed, you can't refund the money back. So I think these people they also work with the system because what they have to sell the land to you, then they have to divide the money. Then later on they come and reclaim the land, because I don't see how that happens. I can just claim I have a land, yet it is the government. I don't know if you're getting my point.
I don't believe they got deed to the land. I believe you had to go to Africa. That's a big problem in Africa. It's called land hustling. That you tell you, I own the land by giving them money. No, I don't trust shit in no motherfucking Africa by no land. I know Africa's been putting poverty, scam everywhere. And from Nigeria to Ghana, Kenya. No, hell no, I'm not buying no land from you. I'm going to the government. I'm going to look up in the government coffers and see if the land is actually free and available. They have institutions, Joby, that you go to and check the land in every country. You say, okay, let me go to Kenya. Let me go to it's called the land office. I'll go to the land office in Kenya. I'll look at the specific area and I see whether the land is free or not. You got to go to the government. So I go to the government. They say, oh, no, this land is owned by such and such. So I know the motherfucker was trying to sell me as a swindler. Hell no, I'm not buying that shit. You don't own the land.
That's what I'm saying. In Africa, we have lived in corruption, and the system has also made citizens to be used to giving bribes in such a way. If you get something that is cheaper,
yeah, it's based on illegality because the country is a thiefdom. They're not Africans doesn't have real country to teach them for the Europeans. So that's what corruption starts. Why there's nothing like corruption in Africa. I never seen that like that in my life. It shocked the shit out of me. You just pay police and all this crazy. I'm coming out, I was like, wow, this what? I was naive. I was like, what the fuck? This is illegal. What the? You go to prison in America. You can't pay no cop no money. What the fuck? Let me forget. I was catching a cab. Like going to the airport in Ghana, coming back, and the police stopped the driver. So they knew when you got. I don't know how they knew I was an American, but they knew. So whenever they get a foreigner, the police would pull over the cab to get a little piece of the money. Because the foreigner had foreign currency that was worth more than Ghanaian CDs. That's what they call their money, CDs in Ghana. So they pull them over. And I said, they were talking in their language. I couldn't understand them. And so I asked them, hey, man, what was that about when he pulled you over? You weren't going fast enough. Oh, he knows you're an American. And he told me I need to give him some money of the money you gave me. I said, are you for real? Are you for real? He said, yes, that's a normal. It blew my motherfucking mind. I was young. I was like, what? I was shocked. I was like, I'm shocked. I was messed up in the head. Like, I said, he can do that? He said, my friend, you don't know about Ghana and Africa. I said, I don't know. He said, you couldn't do this in America? I said, hell no. Hell no. Hell no. That was my first introduction to African corruption. Oh my God. I was 21 years old. I was a 21-year-old kid. My head was fucked up.
I think personally I've grown up seeing corruption, like
bribery. See, you grow up doing it, seeing it. You guys, you grow up seeing it, so it becomes normal. And just like when you guys...
It wasn't normal at first because I could see, I was really young. I was at the age of 17, 16, 18 there, where I used to see young boys being arrested because you have locks or because you're just walking or because you have maybe a ragged trouser. Just you doing your thing in the hood, and they come arrest you and they tell you to give them either $2 or $20, and if you don't, you're either going to end up in the cell for no reason. That is one of the things that used to annoy me. They just arrest you for no reason. Or if you are a motorbike, if you are a motorbike driver, a motorbike rider, they just arrest you for no reason. They say you're suspects, you are thieves, the people who are, making the town to not stay in peace. You're like, he never did anything. Why would you arrest someone and just ask bribe from them for no reason?
See, you'll notice that, but you'll notice that most African countries are chaotic. Kenya's chaotic, Nigeria's chaotic, Ghana's chaotic. Now watch when I send you to Rwanda. Because Rwanda doesn't tolerate corruption. There's no corruption in Rwanda. It's illegal. They'll lock your ass up. Watch when I send you to Rwanda, you see how organized everything is. You see how organized.
In Tanzania, I saw it along when we passed Arusha. I saw it once. I never saw it anywhere else. It's
not bad. Yeah, it's not. Tanzania has it, but not on the levels of the African countries. Because it was never implemented as bad. So it was never as bad because, like I said, Tanzania was one of the few countries that got away. When they got independent, they really were independent because of Julius Nyerere. And no, we're not taking no loans from no white people. We're not allowing white people to come in. We can't get the Indians out. They're already here. So we're not going to force them out like old boy did in Uganda. We're not going to force them out. As long as they say civil, they can stay here. They get acting crazy, we'll throw their ass out to them until we go. We'll say we'll send their ass back to India. They start acting crazy. But since they've been here, we'll let them stay. But you know, we're not gonna allow white people to come set up businesses, own the country, and all. No, we can't allow that. So,
Well, for Africans, for Africans, I think they see it as an opportunity, especially if they see a new mall is being built somewhere, or maybe a new building is being constructed somewhere concerning
of
business.
course,
They see this as an opportunity because one, the job vacancies,
it's for having jobs. They don't own the shit, so you're still a slave. You're still a slave in Africa. You don't own shit. How you in Africa and you're not the owners of everything? You don't got no Africans on everything in America. You don't got no Africans on everything in Europe. You don't got no Africans on everything in Asia. The Asians own the shit in Asia. The Europeans own the shit in Europe, and in America. And Africa is completely backwards because these puppets were set in. Everything in Africa is supposed to be owned by the African, not by the Indian, not by the European. And before they got there, everything was owned by the African. That's why he was wealthy.
I can see Sister Janet is asking, does Africa have internet domain like here in US? That is what.
Yeah, they do. Because the country's so corrupt. And so we said they'll take the land back, depending on if it's a project that the Chinese or Europeans want. But usually they don't have to do that because they don't own it. You don't know how much, like Kenya, Ghana, the Europeans own so much land there because they never got. That's why they put Jomo in power so they can keep the land. He never took. So when Joby goes out to see these big tea farms and coffee, these huge estates, the cracker owns those estates because they were never given that land back. Jomo never got the land back because that's why they put him in power. So they keep the land. So listen, nigga, we're going to make your family rich. We're going to put you in power, and you're going to do our bill. You're not going to ask for the land that we stole back. And that's how Africa stays impoverished. That's why Zimbabwe, which is Rhodesia, when they had the war against the Mzungu, and even then the Mzungu, then they took Robert Mugabe 10 years to finally say, you know what, I got to get the land back to the African. And the Mugabe said, you better not get that land back that we stole from you niggas. Even after Zimbabwe went to a war with these white, because Joby doesn't know that this recent African history, that Zimbabwe was a white country. White people controlled that country because they went to war. It's called Rhodesia. And you go, so do me a favor, they was gonna be completely shocked. Now no, somebody go back to their country. They said Africa's Day. So I'm gonna have Joby pull up a racist rant from the last white president of Zimbabwe, which is Rhodesia. Ian Smith say, pull up, go to YouTube and say, the president of Rhodesia, Ian Smith, has a racist rant. Should be some videos. Say the president of Rhodesia, that's what Zimbabwe was called, Southern Rhodesia, Ian Smith, I spell Ian, how do you spell Ian, y'all? E-O-N, I don't know. Ian Smith has a racist rant. R-A-C-I-S-T-R-A-N-T. How do you spell Ian? I don't know how to spell them crackers' names. How you spell Ian Smith, y'all, the last white president of Zimbabwe. But it wasn't called Zimbabwe, it was called Rhodesia. Southern Rhodesia. I think the last president was Ian Smith. Yeah, Mosquito, you British. That's a British. How the fuck you spell Ian? Ian. How you spell Ian? That's a British. How you spell Ian, damn it.
Ian Smith.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know how to spell that shit.
Okay, there's so many videos. Let me just share my screen then. Maybe, okay.
Yeah. I said Ian Smith. I knew his name. I know how to spell it Ian. Okay, I know how to spell that shit.
Ian, it's I-A-N.
Okay, well, your Mosquito would know he's in Britain, damn it. It's a British name. So this was the president. This was the anyone. Just put up a show. This was the president of Zimbabwe, Toby.
Mm-hmm.
His cracker. He was the president of Zimbabwe. Of an African country, where the Africans are the majority. You put anyone that, not too long, but anyone of racist franchise, these niggas are going to be under our control. We will control Rhodesia. These niggas will do what they're told to do and shut their dirty mouths. That's what they'll do. So it was Tanzania helping the people of the blacks of Rhodesia get free by bringing them in to train them and teach them.
Which one should I play? Is it?
Either one, anyone's good.
Oh, okay, all right.
I just want to hear his racist rant. These niggas would do what they're told to do in Rhodesia. This is our country. We stole it from these niggas. And they would do what they're told to do.
I've been told I've lost my citizenship. And this is unacceptable to me. It's quite illegal. I was born in this.
Enlarge your video, Joe.
Oh, sorry.
All my life, I only had a citizen edition. Then a Barbie passport. In the penalties that they use their citizenship. But I've never committed a crime in my life. I've never been charged with a crime.
Oh, that's when he's already been thrown out of power. That's when he's old. That's when he's been thrown out of power already. These niggas have destroyed Rhodesia. They renamed it some African bullshit called. He still lives. His ass still lives there. He didn't go back to Europe. These niggas have changed the name to Zimbabwe or something. Zimbabwe to the.
He's talking about losing his citizenship. I don't know if it's in Zimbabwe or
in Zimbabwe, because that was Rhodesia. They changed the name and said you crackers are no longer African. Remember, they controlled he was the president of Zimbabwe. Well, it was called Rhodesia when the white people controlled it. They went to war, Joby. There was a war in Rhodesia to throw these crackers out of office. He was the most racist, brutal crackers there ever was. You see this cracker never left Rhodesia, which is Zimbabwe. Them crackers never left. They're still there today. That's when Rumi's eye, people was like, Rumi's eye, you got white people and white governors in your country? He said, yeah. The white people never left. They were like, damn. Rumi said, yeah, we got white governors. They used to control the country. But she's telling the truth.
I believe that there is some racial discrimination in Rhodesia, which is desired by both our main races.
It's desired to make these niggas realize discrimination is right and we rule these niggas. It is right and desired.
Our main races.
This is Rhodesia.
This is because of their different cultures, their different traditions, their different ways of life. And I believe that a mischief maker.
We are better. We are Christians. We gave these niggas Christianity. And so what? That said Jesus is white and we're better than these niggas. And we control their money and their resources. That's what we white people do. And the dumb nigga worships us, loves us. So we will rule these dumb niggas.
To both the main races. On the other hand, there is racial discrimination. We have conceded it. It is part of our history, which we have got to deal with. And I am referring to racial discrimination, which offends against the dignity of people. Discrimination which infers that some people, because of their race or color, are superior to others, or that because of their race or color, they are entitled to enjoy privileges which others are not likewise entitled to enjoy. This, I think you will agree with me, is unjust and therefore cannot be tolerated.
Well, I think the Mzungu always takes advantage of every situation. Up to date, it's because of the love the Africans gave them, and we fell so deep into it, where we poured our
Exactly.
hearts, like,
Exactly. You
oh,
worship them, so they always mistreat you. You worship them like your cousin. Joby, they came to help us. I don't know what the fuck you talking about. Came to Africa because it's rich, you moron. Come to help your stupid ass. It's like, hey, you think he came? Yeah, they came to help themselves to your country, stupid. That's why that white man was the president of an African country. Said, yes, we do racial discrimination against these niggas. These are our niggas. We'll treat them the way we want to treat them. As Rumi Zai told you. Rumi Zai told you, when the white man still controlled Zimbabwe, all black people could do was be their servants, mop up the floors, work in restaurants, clean their houses, just like in South Africa, mow their lawns. That's what you were subjugated to in African countries. You were a servant in your own land. That's what you were. And so that was it. Go ahead, Joby.
well, as we come to the end, I really wanted just to conclude. What is it that we can do? Because still, when it comes back to the matter that I'm still talking about, when it comes to owning of property in Africa, and if I were to do more research, you'll find that maybe so many people, even the foreigners themselves, they have not followed the right procedures when it comes to owning property in Africa. What is it that we can do? Rather, how is it that we can reclaim
You got
our
to
land?
overthrow. It's the government. You got to overthrow the government. Hey, put us since we got the government dance. Hey, Jim Mosquito. What's the link to Jim Mosquito that Tariq made fun of the African? Because the Africans, it's the government. It's the government. It's the government. See if you go. Hold on, Joey. Go to YouTube and say, type in the government dance or the government song. The government song. The government song.
The
Because
government.
yeah, it's called the government song. The government. It's the government. It's our Africans always run talking about the government, not knowing they're the government. And you gotta fight. It's the government. It's the government. It's the government. I like what Katie said. Katie said, it's the government. The government. It's the government. Yeah, from Nigeria to Ghana to Kenya, the government.
Is it that one?
The government.
Gather round. I'm here to give you anything you like. You want free college, energy, mortgages?
Whatever you like. You've come to the right place. Why? I'll tell you why.
That's not it.
Who can take your
That's it. That's not it. That's I don't know what the hell that is. I don't know what that cracker did. That's not it. I don't know what this cracker. Not this. But what is it? What it would be? What would it be? Y'all? It's called what do you call it? The government dance? Is it called the government dance? I think. Is it called the?
Let me check.
Okay. Say Tariq Nasheed. Say TARIQ NASHEED government dance. What's it called? Do what? Do go? Oh, say it's the government. Okay, you gotta say. So Jim is gonna say you gotta say the government. The government.
The government. Okay, let me see.
Because he's making fun of the African accent. It's the government, man. The government. The government. Oh, the government. Oh, the government. The government. Why you stay in poverty? It's the government. Why you won't fix the country? The government. Why you don't have right education? The government. It's always the government. Is that it?
No, that's not it.
No, that's not it. You gotta say Tariq Nasheed, the government. Say Tariq, type it as TARIQ NASHEED, then put D government. Put that in. Then put after his name, put D government. Yep. It's D government. Say these niggas want to dance and sing and fuck around. And they won't challenge the government. And that's an African thing, sad enough.
Government.
Type in Tariq Nasheed, TARIQ NASHEED, and then put D government.
Okay, let me see. Okay, I think I found it.
It should pop up somewhere. Yeah. Is that it?
It has everything. Big one on it. All righty.
Now that's them talking about it. That's them talking. You got to go to the bit. That's them talking about saying, you know, because everybody knows America. It's the government, brother. It's the government. It's the government, brother. I don't know the name of it. I wish I could send you over the video. What's it under? Damn it! That's just
Well, I
Tariq.
can't find it. I was trying to track it. I can't see it.
Oh, did he say? He said. What does it say? What he saying? Go to Tariq. Okay. What? Go to. So we go to Tariq. Go to Tariq Radio. Go to Tariq. Go to his page where it says Tariq Radio. That's it. Yeah,
Okay.
he just sent it to you. Go to Tariq Radio. That's the name of his page. It's probably on his YouTube page. Tariq Radio. TRIQRADIO. And it's that's the video right there. I don't think she can click it on from the chat room.
Radio.
Yeah, that's the link right there, but I don't know if she can click it on through StreamYard. She might. I don't think she can click on that link, Jenna Mosquito.
Oh, this
Government. The government.
There
I
it is.
think it's
That's it.
right.
That's it. That's it. You gotta share your screen. You gotta share your screen. It's the government. It's the government. Brother, why your school so fucked up? It's the government. Brother, why you on clean water? It's the government. The government.
It's the government. It's the government. It's the government. It's the government. It's the government.
Africa to the Caribbean island. It's the government.
It's the government. It's the government. It's the government. It's the government.
So these niggas want to dance.
It's
They
the
don't want to
government.
fix the country.
The government. The government. It's the government. It's the government. The government. It's the government. It's the government. It's the government. The government. The government. The government. It's the government.
Niggas want to dance. They don't want to fix the country.
Government.
And it's the government.
It's the government. It's the government. The government. Booyaka, booyaka. Run to you niggas. Booyaka, booyaka. Nigga, run, run, run. Booyaka, booyaka. Run to you niggas. Booyaka, booyaka. Booyaka, booyaka. Run to you niggas. Booyaka, booyaka. Run, run, run. Booyaka, booyaka. Run to you niggas. Booyaka, booyaka. Government. The government, it's the government, it's the government, the government, it's the government, it's the government.
Why you guys always run from Africa in the Caribbean? It's the government.
It's the government. It's the government.
That's crazy.
It's the government.
Well, that is the say of everyone. Everyone is always complaining about the government.
But that's the joke he's making. He said you always don't. Africans don't never fix shit. Don't fight for shit. It's the government. You're the government, moron. So he's making fun of the Africans. My brother, it's the government. Mr. Brother, it's the government. Then why you don't got clean water? Brother, it's the government. So he said he's making a joke. The Africans always says the government. Why shit's all fucked up in Africa, or down in the Caribbean. Yeah, you said Katie didn't come in, right? Katie's sick, right?
She's feeling sick.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, so it's probably the government that got us. It's the government.
Let me just assume so. Much love, family. Thank you so much for being with me.
Y'all.
Yes, thank you for joining me on today's broadcast. Thank you, Gerald Mosquito. Thank you.
It's the government. It's the government. It's the government.
I will ask her if it's the government which is making her feel sick. Much love, family. Do remember to join us on the Rhythm Scoop Show. That will be after some few minutes. For now, enjoy your morning. For me, I'll be
too bad, Nish. I'm driving through Houston right now, Nish. Wake your ass up. I'm driving through Houston right now. Big ass Houston, Texas. I'm driving right through it, Nish. I probably right past y'all. Hey, Samuel, it's the government. It's the government. It's the government. I'm driving. Houston is pretty as hell at nighttime. When you go through it, it's so big and shit. But it's Houston, like the fourth biggest city in America. I think it's like the fourth biggest city in America. So, much love.
Much love,
much love, Joby, and don't let the government get you.
Much love to you too. The government will not get me. I'll knock them out.
I'll be honest with at least African Americans.
I may not be a gangster, but I'm a fighter.
Yeah, we fought. That's what they're upset about, Samuel. That we fought. The Africans are ashamed we never fought. They come here with the big draw, and like I showed Spikes how we helped the Kenyans come over here. You had a Kenyan coon. I already knew the history. You had a Kenyan coon in America. Brother, you never helped this kid over. Motherfucker, it's because of us that you're here. And so I'm glad he showed the history of the Lua guy from Kenya, how the African Americans paid for them to go to college here. And Dr. King met him on the plane. Too bad he was assassinated. I forgot the guy's name. Spikes knows his name. He's part of the Lua community. I don't know the tribal shit. But Spikes told me he was a Lua. But they probably killed him because I'm sure he's a rival of Jomo Kenyatta. They assassinated his ass. But they get mad. We got this Kenyan coon talking about we want the reason why you got here. And so I'm glad Tariq had the receipts because I know that history. That it was Americans. Motherfucker, you couldn't go. It was like Zimbabwe. So that you couldn't go in no white area. White people kill your ass in America back then. So when the Kenyans came, it was the American blacks that paid for them to go to school. Paid for them to fly here. It was us. Fucking Kenyan coon, you crazy the motherfucker. White people don't want your ass here.
Much love, family. We're not coons.
Not you, Joby. He was a coon. Not everybody from Kenya is a coon, Joby. That Kenyan was a coon. Come on. It wasn't you black people that helped us come in. It was he said it was the white president JFK. Nigga, you motherfuckers are so fucked up in the head with the white Jesus. You don't know crackers don't like your ass and they don't want you in their country. But the majority of you born.
You remember yesterday as we were in that, remember yesterday when I asked the brother who was there for the interview and I asked him if he thinks the Mzungu loves us and he was like, he's not sure. So you see, people do not really know the history.
He's not sure. He looks around, but everything in Africa, he still don't know that. I'm not sure. See, you're talking about a fucked up head told you. They grew up worshiping this Christ. So when this Kenyans over in America, he attacks us. I don't even understand it. I told you. The Ethiopians are the worst. It's weird that I see a Kenyan coon. I will say that.
It's crazy.
But this Kenyan coon was up. It wasn't you that helped us get over. It was JFK, the president. Motherfucker. You know the Kennedy family's racist. Motherfucker. You don't know history. You're a Kenyan coon. You don't know the Kennedy family. Motherfucker, you out of your rabbit ass mind. So I'm glad we showed you, motherfucker. It was us that paid for you to come here, paid for your education, because you couldn't go to white schools back then, you fucking idiot. You had to go to black colleges, because white people didn't let you in their colleges back then. So you had to go to our colleges, which we paid for you, motherfucker. Because we didn't see a tribe. We seen you as African like us. We didn't see your tribe. What tribe are you from? And all this moronic shit. We seen you as us. We treated you as us. You got the nerve to talk about some JFK helped you get the fuck over here. I'll smack you in your motherfucking face. How crazy is cat shit?
My family, much love. See you tomorrow at the same time, the same place. This has been the Pan-African Bliss. Thank you, Keith.
And they mad that we fought. Everything you got because you here, the African American bled and died in the street because we thought everybody was there. We didn't know the tribal shit. They started knowing now, sadly enough. African Americans didn't know the tribal shit. They
But
said
Africa
we're
is waking up. Africa is waking up. That is what I can say. Africa
we didn't know the tribal shit. We said, come let some of our people from the islands and Africa in here. We didn't know they was going to come in here. You niggas are not our tribe. You niggas are not our tribe. What? Oh, you got to go back to Kenya, motherfucker. Go back to Ghana. Go back to Nigeria. You got to go. Shit. Come on with that tribal shit. Oh, no, you got to go. So that's what's happening now, sadly enough. African people, you're getting your wake-up call. We're not going to tolerate tribal bullshit at all. That's your shit you're supposed to deal with and eradicated it. So the African Americans said, no more, nope. No more coming over here. We won't support you coming over here. Tribal shit, we're not going to support it. You're going to have to give her that tribal shit, period. You're not going to work with white people against black people. You do it in your countries, you cutthroat, you say this person Lou, this person Canberra, this person, fuck all that. People come to kill us as African people. And you better get your motherfucking mind right.
It sucks.
So much love, man.
Even here it sucks so much. Even being here in Africa and someone is asking you where do you come from, it also sucks. But we hope people are going to.
It does suck. It's got to change. Exactly right. You got some people admit it. The Africans admit it on this. It's bad because it's the tribe we beat with one another. Yes, because you got childlike minds. Childlike minds. You won't fight the real enemy, the Mzungu, the Asian, come stealing everything, the East Indian, but you'll keep fighting other black people. That means you're a child. So we got to figure it out. Much love, family. Love to Sam. I sent you that link. Sam, to the WhatsApp group again because website is still down, so everybody's going back there for now. Just be, careful what you say and how you say it. Because they're listening to everything. And in Canada now, they're going to bring out the police. I wanted Joe to share that damn video, but I guess we'll do it. I think Spice got a show coming up. But, they said they're going to use force now because the Canadians have shut down the whole country. Shut the whole country down. So they're like, oh, we got to bring the police in. And you do that, you're done, Canada. You can't use the police now. If you do it, your legitimacy is gone. Shout out to Canadians. Shut no mandates, no jab. They know what it is now. These crackers know what's going on. They know it's the nappy nap. They've shut down the whole country. Canada is a no-go zone. And for once, I'm proud of some crackers, Jack. They shut the whole country down. Canada shut the whole country down.
Mhm.
Shout out to these Canadians. And the whole world has been looking. And so what they're going to do, they're going to stop their social media. Because, you know, they're not putting what they're doing on the news. You don't see it on the news, it's on social media. But they always said they're going to come in and shut all the social media down. So they can't film what's happening in Canada. Because the globe knows now. You elite white people are scared to death. You Rothschilds and Rockefellers. Uh-oh. The people took back over Canada. What are you going to do? You're going to bring in the army? You're going to bring in the military? Start killing them? Because they're going to try to do that. And they're going to cut out the Facebook, cut down your Instagram. They're going to cut off your YouTube, your Twitter. So no one can see when they're going to start killing you, motherfuckers. But it's better to die on your feet and not on your knees. You die on your motherfucking feet and not on your knees as a goddamn coward. You die on your motherfucking feet. And this the hill you die on. Because they're killing your children. Motherfuckers, when it comes to killing my children, this where I die on my feet and not on my motherfucking knees. I'll die for my kids. I'll die on my fucking feet.
You should protect your kids.
Yeah, you die for your children, your grandchildren. If you don't stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything, Joe. You don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. So that's the hill that the Canadians are gotta die and shed blood. That's what y'all do. You die on your feet, not on your knees groveling. Oh, please don't kill him. Fuck that. You die on your feet.
Much love, family.
Much love. Y'all know they can't scare me with death anyway. I know there ain't no such thing as death. I'm just dead out the body. You can't scare me with no damn death.
Do remember to catch us on the Rhythm Scoop Show. Thank you, Samuel. Samuel, you're saying I literally look like a dark-skinned version of a friend. I don't know about that, but thank you for the compliment.
Look at dark-skinned version of a who?
Of a friend.
Of a friend? What does that mean?
Maybe his friend. Maybe I look like a dark-skinned version of his friend or something. But
you're talking about Joby. Joby. Yeah, because Jamaicans are African, so of course there's gonna be people. I've seen people look like Joby walking around the street in America, walking in Brazil, walking in Jamaica, Haiti, South Africa. That's why you're one people. That's why you see copies of yourself everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I see that. Because Joby reminds me of the South African girl I used to know. Before I got married, I should have married her ass. I should have married her. I was like, nah, I'm gonna come back to South Africa, back and forth. This too damn far. Joby, same smile, same facial structure, and the same beautiful skin. So I never told Joby that, but she might have been somebody I used to date years ago in South Africa. Closely resembles. It's funny.
Uh-huh. Much love, family.
Because they're the same people.
On the Rhythm Scoop Show. Yes,
much love, family.
Much love, and Asanteni Sana. Thank you, Samuel, for joining us. It's been a while. Thank you so much. And to the rest of the family.
He's been hanging out on Telegram by himself. He's been on Telegram every day posting.
And put Kate on prayer so that Jesus will save her, not the government.